Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Listen y'all, we are here with Love after Lockup. After many requests, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. This is season 4, episode 36, child. It was car chases, visits to the PO, visits to the lawyer, and some craziness happening, child. So when the episode first opens up, we're here with Skyler and Nathan, and she busts in on Nathan sleeping, which is why he didn't answer the calls, because when her and her friend were at the salon, she kept calling, and she had in her mind that maybe he had overdosed or something. So she was calling him and he wasn't answering, only to find out that he was taking a nap. So she was like, listen, I was worried about you. She's like, you need to let me know when you're going to take a nap. Well, sometimes the naps just overtake you, child. You be watching a show and you just doze on off, honey. It's hard to prompt a person about the nap. So he said he understood because of her abandonment issues. And when I tell y'all she busted that door like the 5-0, I said, what is happening, honey? He was like, you would have thought I got caught cheating. Child, you would have. Child got y'all own problems. Moving forward, Justine and Michael. I like Justine and Michael together. I really do. I really like them. So Justine and Mike in their matching sweatsuits, honey, y'all know how they like to do. They at the house. And his daughters are going back home, so his mom and his sister came to get him, right? So Justine pulls his mama to the side and his sister to the side so she can apologize about the little argument that they had at the park. The last episode, they got into it because Michael's mom was basically saying, like, she got a belly button ring and she's this way, and his other daughter would never be like that, or her niece would never be like that. It was one of the two. She was being real judgy boots, and, Justine got her together and they had a little bit of an argument, so she was apologizing about it. So his sister feels like her approach was a bit off-putting. Now, I can say, Justine did have like a bit of an attitude, and she was kind of being rude to his mom. But at the same time, you don't need to comment on my parenting, ma'am. Like, that's not cool. So his mom was like, I feel like you were attacking me. Y'all were attacking and judging her as a mother. Like, what are you talking about? Justine says she's felt disrespected at times, but she hasn't said anything. She just let it go. So his mom was like, well, if you feel like we're disrespecting you, then you need to let us know. Okay, so we can correct it. Just let us know in that moment. So then his sister pipes up and she's like, see, this would be fake of me to just be like, we're one big happy family because we're just now getting to know you. So in the confessional, Justine said, girl, look, you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to defend my daughter at the end of the day. Period. And I have to agree with that. I'm going to defend my child at all cost. Okay. And I'm going to defend my parenting of my child at all cost. Sometimes people be overstepping with their opinions of everything. Like, ma'am, you don't run this house over here. I am a grown adult. If you didn't think I was fit, why did you hook me up with your son? Oh, okay. So Michael comes over because he wants to be involved in the conversation, honey, in case it goes left. And he's telling them that they're the most important women to him outside of his daughters. So he can't have them arguing. They're like, we ain't gonna argue no more, but we know that's a lie, child. So his sister, when they pull the mom and the sister to the side, she's like, yeah, we just saw a side of her that we've never saw before. So I feel like my mom is going to have to re-get to know her. Ma'am, it is not that serious. Okay, it was a misunderstanding. Families argue. Should she get to re-know your mama since she was judging her parenting? Oh, okay, I ain't think so. So they leave because Mike has to go see his PO and whatnot. And I have to say, I like them together. He said his biggest fear is not being able to leave the state to see his kids. So they ride in the car, right? And they're on their way to the probation officer. And he's really nervous because he doesn't know what the PO is actually going to tell him. Child, back over on the other side with Monique and Derek, we are still on this high-speed chase. Monique acting all bad, acting like she gonna pull over to see who it is. I pull over and see who it is. You want me to pull over and see who it is? In the car, Monique is like, that car was parked next to us the whole time. They even said hi to Derek. That's because they know who he is. He know exactly who is in that car. Let me just tell y'all this. This is my theory. When that cousin abruptly called, oh, he needs to see grandma. He needs to see grandma right away. Like right now, there's no time to waste. There's no time to spare. His cousin set him up to go see the grandma, and whoever he messing with was told to be there, and she was in that car. The sisters and the cousins are in on it, allegedly. Child, and they ain't fooling me. So then here he go. Well, I seen a female, but you don't know who in that back seat. Boy gone. So now she driving, trying to lose them. Baby, they in, they out, they dipping, they dodging. The poor cameraman in the front. That cameraman in the front was looking like he was going to be on Indeed as soon as he got home. He looked scared as hell. He was like, listen, I did not sign up for this. I thought it was going to be some felons. I thought it was going to be some security guards to, keep said felons in check. I did not know that I was going to come to work on this Monday night and be in a high-speed chase. And they've been chasing behind Monique and Derek like it's Tom and Jerry for the past 2 episodes. Oh, no, child. So they busting a left and a right, jumping over the railroad tracks. So the production is like, is that your sister? Like, who is that? He's like, I don't know who that is. Whole time lying. So they stop at the light and one of them jumps out, right? So Monique is like, I'm so scared. Girl, just drive the car. And not you scared, but want to pull over to see who it was at first. It's getting real now. Child, this ain't no play game. In the next scene, Gabby and her bad attitude and Chris, aka ODB, he reminds me of Old Dirty Bastard. I don't know if it's the hair. I don't know what it is. But on this channel, he will be ODB. So Gabby and ODB, they at the house. And he's like, let me get her some breakfast. I'm going to see if she want a brownie. Sir, this ain't cell block 4. Okay? A brownie? Child, the breakfast of champions. Not a brownie, child. So he was trying to make coffee, but had no clue how to make the coffee. And I mean, I'm not going to give him too hard of a time on the coffee because it's a lot of people that cannot work a Keurig. Child, they don't know what to do. It's like a foreign object. I'm like, child, you don't know to put the little thing in there and push the button. Child, it's a fool. So he can't get the coffee together, so he just going to get us some juice. Child, this is a mess. This whole relationship is a mess. Like, why would she rush to marry him on that curb and then do all of this? She sleeping in the bed. He sleeping on the couch. He cheating, calling other girls. He better be happy somebody even looking at him. Child, this is just a mess. So he brings her this snack, talking about, in prison, this is breakfast. Can I get a kiss? Ew. Did they brush their teeth yet? I don't know. It looked like they ain't brushed their teeth, child. And I could just smell it through the screen. I was like, what? Oh, child. So she's like, can you make me some breakfast? So he tells her, well, I ain't made breakfast in years. How hard is it to make bacon and eggs? It's like riding a bike. You never forget how to cook. You never forget how to feed yourself. It's bacon and eggs. So they go in there to make breakfast and fuss, because that's all they do. And she making him breakfast, and she's asking whether or not he wants to be married. He's like, yeah, I want to be married. I want to be married to you. I want to stay here. I want us to get ourselves together. So she's telling him that he needs to get himself together. Child, he got his nerve trying to be a cheater. But Gabby ain't no saint. She talking about she ain't had sex in 5 years but went to go get that vagine tightened. Honey, I'm not buying it. Gabby don't do nothing but lie. She a walking little liar, honey. She don't do nothing but lie. She gives me scammer vibes every time she's on the screen, honey. I just can't do Gabby, honey. Her attitude is just too bad. Moving forward. So in his confessional, he's like, Gabby is my dream girl. And I don't want her to be a woman scorned. And child, she more like a little nightmare. She always mad and talking crazy. Like, girl, you're too pretty to always be upset. What are you so bothered by? Like, what is irking you that you're always upset? I don't think I've ever seen her in a scene, because they were on a previous season. I don't think I've ever seen her in a scene where she's happy unless she was spending that money that he sent her. That's the only time I saw her smile. So he said he gonna show her that he really loves her, and child, whatever. I guess to be young and toxic. Aries and Cameron. So this couple right here is a trip to me. So she's taking him to the studio after he got his haircut. And he said he talked to his PO and he's not allowed to drink, but he can drink a little bit, but just not excessively. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a sip, but I don't drink when I rap. She's like, no. I don't even want to see no Patron in your hand. Like, I don't want you drinking. He was like, I don't know why not. I don't know why not. Because you might get out of control and end back up in jail. So they get to the studio, right? So he introducing her and saying how Aries held him down when he was locked up, both mentally and emotionally. So he's telling his producer friend Nelson this, right? He was like, yeah, she held me down and she kept my mind right. So we get married. Y'all, that head tilt that Nelson gave Cameron was me all day. When he leaned his head over to him like, now I know you can lie. Boy gone. Y'all get married. When he did that, when I tell y'all I let out the biggest cackle, because that was my facial expression, and I don't even just know Cameron. I was looking at him like, you getting ready to ruin her life, child. You getting ready to ruin her life. He said, yeah, I'm getting married immediately. Y'all got a suit? It's on Saturday. So in the confessional outside, Nelson said, he's never known Cam to be the marrying type, because anytime he's even been in a relationship, Cam is always looking at him like he crazy. But he came out a changed man, so they gonna see. Child, he ain't changed. Anywho. So Aries asked them how they felt when he went in. Probably like they knew it was gonna happen, but y'all, let's hear what they had to say. So Cameron starts telling the story of how they couldn't catch him, right? And he was running from the cops. The whole time he was talking, y'all, all I could think about was when Soulja Boy was telling that story about that shooting. And he was like, and I was like, pop, 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 pop. And I got the other one. I was like, pop, pop. That's all I I was like, look at him. Soulja Boy, tell him. When I tell y'all I was in here hollering, I could not take this man seriously. Oh, I can't take him seriously, honey. I was like, boy, gone with that story. So he said it was his first time going to jail. He was being sloppy. He had been thugging all his life, never got caught. And then he just got sloppy with it. And that's how he ended up in jail. He said he never even had a speeding ticket. And then he ended up in prison. Child, this is a fool. So then he hopped in the booth and got his Dr. Seussical the musical rhyme on, child. I mean, his cadence wasn't bad. I think I would take him rapping over Michael. Because when Michael got in front of that manager or whatever and started dropping that freestyle, I was like, say what now? And I mean, I like Michael, but that freestyle was definitely not it. So I guess if it was a cipher and a rap off between Michael and Killer Cam, which Cameron, you cannot use that name, honey. Cameron is already Killer Cam. We can't take from Dipset. Child. I would have to go with Cam for the win, though. Because Michael, it didn't give what's supposed to be gave, child. And when I tell y'all Aries is his number one fan, she gonna say, I expected him to be good, but he just blew my mind. Yeah, he better keep her. Because ain't nobody else gonna hype him up like that. Ain't nobody else gonna hype him up like that, child. Ooh, he better keep her. Cam gonna be right back in them streets, honey, right back in that mess. I feel so bad for Aries. And she's so pretty. I just don't know. Something gotta be loose, child. Something ain't right. So he already said that he liked to do bad stuff. Y'all remember on the previous episode when he got out, he was like, I just like to do bad stuff. Oh, no, honey. So she's like, well, I mean, if he messes up, he might lose me and he ain't ready for that. And girl, if he don't care about losing his freedom, he sure don't care about losing you. I'm just saying. Nathan and Skyler. So now we're back over here and they're out to dinner and she gets a text, right? So then the phone rings and she's like, I have to answer it. Girl, why would you answer the phone at dinner? If it's not an emergency, then they can wait. That's rude as hell. I'm sorry, I would have been upset as well. You don't answer the phone while we're out on a date. First of all, your phone should be on silent. Like, why are you taking a call? Like, that's so rude. So Nathan snatches the phone and hangs it up. He's like, you think I'm a bitch? You think I'm a bitch? Sir, why are you asking her that? That doesn't even make sense. I guess he's trying to say, do you think you can just run over me? I'm assuming. So then the dude calls right back. She's like, why are you mad? Are you mad? Skyler, stop playing crazy. Anybody would be mad. I would be offended as hell. She said, it's my old childhood friend. And I mean, he knows that I talk to him. He knows him. So I'm not sure why he's freaking out. That is fine, but you should have talked to him later. It's a matter of respect. You're on a date. So he calls back again. So they exchange words and he hangs up again. But then Nathan lost me. He completely lost me. He said, I scraped that ninja right now. Now, at first I had to rewind it. I scraped that ninja right now. I said, oh, he definitely said the N word. We TV. Is this what we doing? Because we can release Nathan and Skyler out of the contract, honey. Because I'm not going to be sitting around watching Nathan drop the N-bomb. Nathan, I know you grew up on the yard and whatnot, but that don't give you a pass to say the N-word, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that no more. Moving forward. And I know he say it all the time, too. You can tell he say it all the time. It just came out too easy. I'm like, oh, he be around the house saying that. He be in the car singing it. Whatever lyrics got the N-word in it, he gonna sing it straight through. Hell no. So she's like, that's my friend. I mean, it's like you have a switch. You just get mad and just go from 0 to 100. Like, what's wrong? So he gets up to walk away, but he's like, stand up. She's like, no, I'm not standing up. He's like, stand up. I was like, oh, child, this is a mess. Nathan is a psycho. He had my anxiety on 1,000. I know a psycho when I see a psycho. I know definitely, allegedly, he got a domestic violence case somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where the witness is. I don't know what the victim is, but I know he got one. Like, I've been in too many of them, so I know exactly what's happening right here, child. This cannot be trusted. Back over here with Mike and Justine. So they're on their way to see the PO right there in the car. He wants to go to see if he can travel and what restrictions he's going to have. So they make it to the probation office. So he comes back out. He tells us that he's on probation for 20 years. Damn. 20 years? Oh my gosh, honey. Let me tell you something. If you ever want to scare somebody straight, you need to sit them in front of this show. 20 years? Oh my gosh. So you're free, but you're not free. Okay. So he goes in, he comes out. He tells Justine that he can't leave the state for 60 days, no exceptions. Honey, you better be glad it's only 60 days. He said any type of police contact, he's going to jail. If they call and say that he was around the police and he didn't call first. So even if somebody comes and says, have you seen my ball? And it's a police officer with them and he doesn't call and tell, and somebody calls and says something about it, he going to jail. She's like, yeah, well, my life is being put on hold as well. Well, girl, it's only 60 days and you knew what it was when you signed up for it. He wasn't at a sleepaway camp. He was in prison. They really killed me with that. I mean, he's really changing my life. Your life was changed when you started. This is a collect call from a jail facility. When you pressed 1 and accepted that collect charge, your life was changed. These are the consequences of his actions and what life after lockup is. Child, this is a mess. He's like, don't you think it's too invasive? Like they can just come to our home whenever they feel like it. Like they can whip out a cup and make me pee in it. Mike, listen, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I would just be thankful to be able to be at home. Because you could be on the inside looking out, but you're on the outside and they're looking in. So I would just take that. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but we already know once you go in, you're never really free until they say so. Like even when you get a traffic ticket, they have a probation period. Unless it's just a fine or if they dismiss it. But otherwise, it's like you can't get a ticket. If they put you on like that little deferred stuff or whatever it is that I used to get, y'all, they will be like, you can't get a ticket for like 60 days. And if you get one ticket, your license is going to be suspended. And child, it's all types of stipulations. So just stay on the straight and narrow as best you can, child. So he said he's afraid that people won't work with him because of his probation and all those stipulations. Child, there's plenty of people on probation in the music industry. They'll make it work. Honey, they make it work for everybody else. Moving forward, Gabby and Chris. So he going to see his PO and she claims that she's going to see her mom, right? So he goes downstairs and he sees the car that she said was in the shop because she made him walk 5 blocks from the train station to get to the apartment. And I'm trying to figure out, girl, what did you do with this money? Because I'm looking at this place and it's looking like the trap. You had $60,000, okay? And you're living in a trap house. Like, girl, what is this? So he called her to come down because he been walking everywhere. And he was like, I feel like you've been lying to me. The car is here. I thought you said it was in the shop. So he feels like she may be retaliating against him because he cheated. So now she doing some old underhanded sneaky stuff. So she goes, my license is suspended. I'm trying to get it back. I was speeding, but I really wasn't. Girl, you were speeding. The speed limit that you told that lawyer, girl, that's beyond speeding. He's like, well, why you lying? Why you holding stuff from me? Like, what else you got going on? She's like, I got caught up. And Gabby want to be a gangster so bad. Girl, it's cute when you're doing that little talking. But when they put that orange suit on you and close those doors behind you, those bars get to clanking, it ain't cute. Talking about you got caught up. He was like, what you mean? What you selling? Like, what are you got caught up? What you talking about? She's like, I'm not talking about it on camera. I told you I'm not talking about it on camera. I'm taking this off. I might be going to jail. I'm not talking about it on camera. So she takes her mic off, right? So they walk over to the side because they getting ready to talk about it. They shoot back over to Aries and Cameron, and they're getting ready to go meet his sisters. So they're in the car and they're talking about who's going to be in the wedding. And she said her 9-year-old daughter is going to be in the wedding for sure. I'm sorry, but I would not put Cameron in the house with my baby so soon. Call me what you want to call me, but I don't see him being a good influence. I just really don't. She's a young, impressionable girl. She don't even know him. For me, I'm not about to just put my son in a house with a perfect stranger, especially a little girl. I'm just not about to do that. She said Lena may think the wedding is happening too fast because she hasn't met him face to face. They've only been talking on the phone, but they talk all the time. Talking all the time is not the same. Child, I couldn't do it, honey. Couldn't do it and wouldn't do it. So they're going to see his PO. He goes in while she sits on the court steps. He comes out and shows her where he can and cannot go. He can't leave for 60 days either, but them getting married, he said, is going to be a plus, and they're going to see that he's more prone to getting in trouble in Cincinnati, so they may let him move to Florida to be with her. Why everybody in such a rush to get married? People act totally different in the free world. Why don't y'all give it some time? Just like they have a probation period after they get out of jail, the same should be true with what y'all got going on. You don't really just know him. You don't know the free world him. Like, you know, the locked up him, the nice words. He ain't got nothing but time on his hands. When that collect call come through, he can't get out. But you don't know him in the free world. Not saying Cameron might not be a good guy, but I just think Aries is rushing. It's cool when they can't see nobody else. It's different when they outside, y'all. I think Aries is rushing this. He literally proposed 2 hours ago. Girl, slow down, low down. So he tells her that he's on probation for 3 years, but depending on his behavior, it could be 18 months. So she was like, well, do you think you can be good and sober so you can get it reduced? Because like 18 months is much better than 3 years. So now they're going in to get the marriage license, right? So in the confessional, she's like, I love him, but the wedding is happening so fast. And I just feel like I have to be a mother to my fiance. And I just don't want to feel like that. Aries, don't do it. Reconsider. Girl, do not do this. Neither one of y'all look ready or 100% sure. Because when they were showing that marriage license and she was like, we're getting married tomorrow, and that camera panned to his face, I said, oh, baby, he ain't ready. He came out and was happy to be outside and gave her that ring, but he not ready. Monique and Derek. So, child, we back over here with Monique and Derek. They still driving. They're going to be at the ends of the earth pretty soon. She has been driving in a straight line for 48 hours. Child, this is a mess. So somebody jumped out the car like I told y'all. So Monique crying, talking about, I'm so scared. I can't do this. Call the police, Derek. You're a victim right now. He was like, I'm not calling no police. She was like, I'm not trying to get killed. Girl, he don't want to call the popo because he being a ho-ho. And he know dang on well who in that car. And if they stop, he's going to be exposed. Girl, don't be no fool. Don't be no fool. And girl, not you crying when you were big and bad earlier. And Derek is full of it. And I hope you watching this. And I hope y'all are talking about how full of it he is. So she's screaming. They trying to calm her down. Y'all. The way that they bounced over that railroad track. Oh, honey. The way they bounced over that railroad track and that camera got the ching, 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 ching. It got the shake. I said, oh my God. She said, I'm super scared. And the funniest thing about it, honey, that put the icing on the cake, the cameraman said, I know you're scared, but you don't want to make a mistake. I know this is serious, but I cannot take WeTV seriously. Oh, child, all that speeding gonna alert the police anyway. Oh, child, that was so funny to me. I said, now, why did they hop? They hopped that railroad track like they were on one of those action movies. Oh, honey, that was good to me. Child, I was about to say moving forward and couldn't even do it, and I was laughing so hard. Here we go. Let's try this again. Moving forward. So the car got stuck at the light, right? And so they done dodged them some kind of way. So they're giving her direction. So they tell her that they're going to make 4 rights. Here she go. No, I can't do this. I can't do. Girl, you better do it. Make a right before things really go left. What you talking about? You can't do it. Turn 4 rights so y'all can get out of the line of fire. There ain't really no line of fire because your line boyfriend is in that back seat and know exactly who that is. So she was, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. She was really ticking me off. Because girl, what choice do you have? Do you want to be safe or not? Make the right, bust the right before things go really left. I ain't gonna say it no more. Child, oh honey. So then they finally lost him. Back over here with Gabby and Chris. So she tells him what she's in trouble for. And he's like, we just got married. I mean, we can't be two felons. They not gonna let us be together. If she goes to jail and I'm a felon, then we gotta talk about our marriage, our relationship. So now they gotta think about some things. So child, she going to the lawyer and he going to the PO. She said the only thing that she's thinking about is that she knows if she goes to jail, he's not gonna stay faithful. As soon as she goes in, he gonna be doing him. Oh, yes, ma'am. Because see, it's a difference when the man is on the inside. A woman will more than likely hold them down and be there for them. But if a woman was going in, it's a small percentage of men that will be able to hold them down for years on end. It don't normally go like that. I'm just saying. Cameron and Aries. So they're going to the tuck shop to meet his sisters. They get to the tuxedo shop. Side note, why is he always walking so far ahead of her? I was like, sir, please slow down. He is always walking like 15 paces in front of her. Slow down. So they see the first sister. He introduces Aries and tells her they get married tomorrow. And I was just wondering, where is her family? Did she ever say if she has family, siblings, a mom? Like, where is her family at? So the oldest sister, Kia, she shows up and he breaks the news to her. And I have to say, his sisters are just as colorful as he is. I like them. They're just like him. They're very animated. I really did like his sisters. They wanted to know how they met. Like, dang, I mean, how did y'all meet? How did he propose? Like, what's going on? How did y'all get here? So Aries tells them about, her daughter Lena being there and being very excited. So his sister said, listen, we're all moms. And I know we want to protect our children. Now, I know my brother is great, but I've known him for a long time. So that's why I know. And he's your brother. So one could say you're biased. Not saying you are, but I'm just saying, if I'm speaking about my sibling, I'm going to be like, my sibling is great, despite whatever flaws my sibling may have. She was like, but why not wait to see how your daughter really reacts to him? Now this, you're on point with. This was sound advice. That's a huge adjustment and a change. Like, Aries is acting like it's just her. You cannot go pick up this man from prison and insert him in the house with your daughter. Girl, Aries is just being silly. She's like, well, I mean, she doesn't have a father figure in her life. Her father lives in another country. Well, she might not have a father figure in her life, honey, but I wouldn't make him it. He said he just likes to do bad things, and I ain't gonna never forget that. So for me, hell no. Both his sisters were like, my hopes are that it works out. They're happy, and we ain't got to pull up. I know that's right, period. Other than that, gone on. I am glad that they embraced Aries, though, because it could have went left. You know how some people be like, well, what you doing with my brother? Look at what Monique is going through. It could be that way. But they were really nice. They embraced her. But I feel like they definitely shouldn't be getting married so soon. So we back in the car with Monique and the gang, child. They pull in. The security hops in the car with Monique and Derek. Child, I bet them people happy as hell to be out of that car with them. I know they were happy to jump out of that car. So now security is in the car. So Monique is like, I don't know who that could have been. Like, how did you make enemies that quick? That doesn't even make sense. It's got to be your sister. He's like, yeah, so you see why I want to get out of here and get my life together. Boy, shut up. Oh, lying self. She's like, I mean, I think it's your sisters. Here you go. Just be quiet. Let me process everything. Just drive. Shut up and drive. I didn't want to be quiet. He's like, let me just process my lies, honey. You processing that lie, you gonna tell her. So production asked him if he's hiding anything from Monique. Of course he is. And he said he was. Child, that ain't shocking. So they make it back to the hotel. And I'm pissed because all that and we can't know who it was. I want to know on this episode. This episode was 1 hour and 30 minutes long and we don't know who was in that car. Okay. Back over on the other side, Gabby makes it to the lawyer's office. So he asks her what's going on with her. Child, too much. So she tells him about her suspended license for speeding. He said, well, do you know how fast you were going? She said 90 in a 45. Who in their right mind would be going highway speed in a 45 unless they want to get pulled over? That's just crazy as I don't know what. Even he was shocked. He said, what? I'm assuming you were speeding to the courthouse to pay a fine. I was thinking to myself, I know that's right. Girl, why would you be going 90 in a 45? That is insane. She's like, yeah, that's what I was doing. And also, I have a criminal case for terroristic threats. Apparently, her and her cousin were out. They were drunk, right? And so she tried to save her cousin from whatever she was getting into, got into a fight with the security officer, and now they're charging her with assault and terroristic threats. She's like, it's ridiculous. I feel like they're trying to make an example out of me at this point. Gabby takes zero accountability for anything. At all times. She ain't gonna take no accountability, honey, so you can forget it. So he tells her that she could face up to 5 years. And so he was like, do you want to plead guilty or you want to do a trial? She chose the trial. So then he tells her that she could be tied up for 2 years and spend way more money in lawyer's fees. So she gonna say, well, all of Chris's settlement money is gone. Like, I'm the one paying for our life right now. Like, I'm paying for everything. Well, what did you blow $60,000 on? Of course you're paying for everything. You spent all his money. He didn't spend it. You spent every red dime. So if you're taking care of him, it's fine. He sent that money to you. Girl, goodbye. So then she's like, oh, and also my husband, who's a felon, he's moving in with me. So the lawyer explained to her, if she goes to jail, Chris cannot parole at her house. And there may be something in his paperwork that states he cannot be with the felon. So 2 felons cannot live happily ever after. He said, is there anything else? Child, this poor man. She said, are you a divorce lawyer just in case? Ooh, child. She should have been getting her life together instead of getting married on that curb. I'm still pissed about that. Child, it's a whole fool. Monique and Derek. So it's the next day and they're talking about the chase, right? So she tells him she doesn't feel safe. She want to change the cars. She want to change the hotels. Child, that ain't going to help because they still going to know where you going to be because they know where he is at all times. Child. So she's like, yeah, and I'm extending my stay because I don't want him out here alone. And what you going to do, Monique? What are you going to do? Listen, I must be a bad partner because I'm on the I-10 by 10. I'm not built for tough. I'm not. I'm going home. I'm not a ride or die. I might ride. I'm definitely ride. But I don't know about die. So for me, I would be up in the friendly skies. Child, it ain't no way. Oh, honey. So he tells her he wants to go shopping. He's like, download the Uber app. She said, huh? He said, you don't want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? She said, no. Child, this is crazy. Not you don't want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Monique gonna have to get her insecurities in check. Like, you cannot be with him 24 hours a day. I wouldn't want no relationship that I got to keep tabs on him 24 hours a day. And Monique is too controlling. Even though he's a trash can, she's still like a probation officer within him being on probation. Like, girl, you got to loosen the reins a little bit. He gonna do what he gonna do regardless. He got him chasing you up and down the street. He putting your safety in jeopardy. I would let him go. I would let his ass go. Do you hear me? So he was like, I feel like she's smothering me. Like, I need to get out of her prison for a little bit. Anywho, so she's telling him, I feel like it was your sisters. So in the confessional, he reveals to us that he knew who the person was and he can't tell Monique because she gonna flip out. He said, I'm gonna let her think it was my sisters or whatever it is she want to think. I'm just gonna let her think that. He would be coming back to an empty hotel. When I tell you I would be gone, I would be gone. I'm quick to disappear, honey. Act a fool if you want to. Nathan and Skyler. So Skyler up here acting all oblivious, talking about, I don't know why he's mad. That was my friend, and I think he was just calling to tell me welcome home. Well, child, he could have sent that through a text, and he could have waited to welcome you on back. You done had your hair, went to go have your hair done and everything else, and he couldn't call then? Girl. So he says he's leaving because she's acting up. She don't want to leave because she's still eating. He's like, I'm not about to spaz out. He's like, I'm about to spaz out. About to? Oh, this ain't it? Oh, okay. So he gets in the car. He speeds off only to call back. That's when you know they crazy. If you gonna make a scene and get in your car and speed off and then call me back, I know you're nuts. I just know you're nuts. So at the restaurant, she's still eating, right? So this random setup by production, because they ain't fooling me, comes and gives her a shot. They playing with these people's lives, honey. Nathan is unstable. This is not the time to try to get a shot. This is not the time to create a scene. Nathan is unstable. She's like, yeah, the guy that gave me a shot, he stole some money from me. So I guess this is his way of paying me back. Girl, what? See, that's the reason why I stopped reviewing Love After Lockup, because it's like some outlandish stuff that they do and say. And it just seems so fake. So a random guy who stole money from you is brave enough to just come to you and give you a shot? Okay. So anywho, Nathan on the phone dropping yet another N-bomb. Keep him off my screen with his psychotic self. I don't want to keep hearing him get too comfortable saying the N-word. I don't want to keep hearing it. Okay? I don't want to hear it. So he turns around. He comes back. Listen, I am scared for Skyler. So then he asks her again if she thinks he's a bitch. Well, she might not think you are, but I do. I think you are, honey. I definitely do. Moving forward. She's like, I knew he was jealous, but his reactions to things that I didn't think would set him off actually set him off. Girl, how did you not think you taking a phone call in the middle of your date would not set him off? She's like, I mean, I'm scared that it could cause me to use again. And if that's going to be the situation with him, then we're going to have to be done. I will be done with him because of his outbursts and his mood swings. He will be gone. So they leave and get in the truck, right? He's like, please don't diss me right now. She's like, you can't control yourself. It's sad. You embarrassed me in public. Yeah. And he's like, I know. I'm sorry. She's like, we've never even been in public before. He said, yeah. And look how it went. She said, oh, well, that's not ever happening again. He said, you want to be done? You said you're never going in public with me again. She said, yeah, I'm not letting this happen to me again. He said, so we might as well not even be together. When I tell y'all my heart was racing, listening to them, he aggravates my anxiety. I can't watch him too much. I really cannot, y'all. I can't watch them. Something is legit wrong with him. He seems like the type to drive that truck off a cliff or into the water and unalive them both. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Some things are not entertaining. And that part right there for me, when he was standing up over her and telling her, stand up. So you don't want to be with me anymore? Sometimes it's best to just say, because I've watched enough Lifetime movies and lived through a few myself. Sometimes it's best to just say, no, I mean, things can get better, but we just, never argue in a car. Never. And I do mean ever. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are in this kind of situation or you are not. Do not argue in a car. Child, I could do a whole video about that, child. This right here is a fool. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. The first review of this season for me for Love After Lockup. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.